She advocating keeping the baby from the yeah, nah, man, this little group of mamas right here is fucked up. Nah, homie, she gonna be way worse, I think.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because the internet thought it had seen chaos until today. Because the story exploding across timelines right now, it's not just messy, it's not just dramatic, it's straight up catastrophic. And at the center of this digital earthquake stands two names you already know: Charleston White, the loudest man with a Wi-Fi signal, and Chrisean Rock, the walking hurricane whose entire life seems permanently stuck on breaking news. But tonight, something far darker, far wilder, and far more unbelievable just cracked the internet open. Ask yourself this. What happens when the internet's biggest loudmouth decides to go nuclear on one of the most unpredictable women alive? What happens when a single accusation, one shocking claim, begins spreading so fast that people don't even stop to question if it's real? And what if that claim says Chrisean Rock threw away her own son? Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Why is Charleston White pacing around like he's about to testify before Congress? Why is Chrisean silent for once? And why are fans screaming that this might be the final line she crossed? What happened off camera? Who leaked the call? And who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't drama. This is a digital crime scene, and you're about to walk right into it. Charleston White had always been loud, reckless, brutally honest, and dangerously unpredictable, but this time he walked into a level of controversy even he wasn't prepared for. The moment he hit that go live button, you could practically feel the temperature of the internet rising. His eyes were already bulging, his hands waving around like he was swearing into a courtroom microphone, and the energy in his voice felt like he had waited months for this one moment. And then he said it, that one line that ignited the entire timeline like gasoline over a flame. Chrisean Rock threw away her own son. Half the internet gasped, the other half went straight to the comments, and the rest started screen recording before she even had a chance to blink. It didn't matter if it was true. It didn't matter if it was exaggerated. It didn't matter if Charleston misheard something, misunderstood something, or flat out made it up for views. Because with Chrisean Rock, people believe anything. They've seen her punch a wall on live, fight a family member at a red carpet event, cry on Instagram and laugh 10 minutes later, lose a tooth, find the tooth, glue the tooth back in, and then lose it again. They've witnessed her throw phones, throw shade, throw hands, and now
Chrisean Rock, I guess she responded, not really to you, but everybody's like making fun of her son. And she said that everybody who makes fun of her son has died recently or going to die.
Yeah, we all gonna die. She ain't lying. Yeah, we all gonna die. Even that little retarded motherfucker grew up and died one day. She gonna die and leave the little retarded motherfucker retarded without a mama. Yeah, we all gonna die one day. But ain't nobody dying because they picking on the retarded baby. You know how many retarded babies been picked on by their grandmamas, their cousins, their brothers, or even a special ed school teacher. So you ain't gonna be shit, boy.
According to Charleston, throw away her own child. It didn't take long for people to start stitching clips of her past meltdowns next to Charleston's accusation, making the narrative look 10 times worse. Charleston knows the internet better than most creators do. He knows how people eat up drama the way kids eat up candy on Halloween. He knows what goes viral, what triggers comments, what forces people to pick sides. And he knows that the moment he attaches his voice to a scandal involving a mother, a baby, and a supposed act of abandonment, the views are practically guaranteed. So he leaned into it. Hard. He made the moment big, theatrical, dramatic, shaking his head like he was delivering a sermon. A mama supposed to protect her child, he shouted, not toss him aside like dirty laundry. People in the comments went crazy, some agreeing with him instantly, others rushing to defend Chrisean before she even knew what she was being accused of. And while Charleston was ranting, pacing, firing off accusations at lightning speed, people began digging through old clips, old live streams, old arguments trying to find any hint that could make this story feel real. Of course, it didn't help that Chrisean had been having one of her chaotic weeks again. One day she was calm and smiling, posting selfies with the baby on her hip. The next day, she was screaming at fans in the comments. The day after that, she went live crying about how tired she was, how stressed she felt, how alone she had become. Screenshots started circulating showing her arguing with Blueface, arguing with family members, arguing with herself. So when Charleston said what he said, some people didn't even question whether it was exaggerated. They instantly believed him because it matched the kind of picture the internet already had of her: emotional, unstable, impulsive, unpredictable, and always one meltdown away from becoming a trending topic. Meanwhile, Charleston kept adding fuel to the fire. He claimed he heard from a reliable source, though with Charleston, that usually means somebody said something in a comment once, and he turned it into a full news broadcast. Still, he kept repeating that Chrisean didn't want to deal with the responsibility, that she was too wrapped up in drama, that she needed to get her priorities straight. In the background of his live, you could hear people laughing, egging him on, pushing him to say more. And once Charleston gets pushed, he doesn't stop. He begins to rewrite the situation in real time, adding dramatic details, claiming someone told him they saw her throw bags out the door, claiming someone said she didn't pick up when the baby cried, claiming someone overheard her saying she didn't care. None of it confirmed, none of it proven, but all of it spreading faster than she could breathe. Meanwhile,
FaceTime her, she's like smoking a joint. Full on pregnant.
While she's pregnant.
Full on pregnant. Smoking a joint. And I said, aren't you? And she's like, shh. And I'm like, it ain't no shh. I'm like, the baby's in the stomach. Like, yeah. No.
Chrisean wasn't even online when the story started blowing up. Fans were tagging her like their lives depended on it. Her name was trending within 30 minutes. People were posting memes, theories, fake screenshots, cropped recordings that cut out context, and dramatic edits, making her look like the villain of the century. And while Charleston was ranting, influencers started picking it up. Reaction channels began uploading videos titled, "Did Chrisean really do this?" and "Charleston White exposes the truth." Even random people who had never watched a Chrisean live stream in their lives felt the need to comment on her motherhood. The internet is ruthless like that. They don't wait for facts. They don't wait for explanations. They just want something, anything to fight about. And Charleston gave them exactly that. He kept pushing, kept escalating, kept repeating the claim until people stopped questioning it and started accepting it as reality. His live had thousands of viewers in minutes. People were arguing in the chat, some accusing her of neglect, others insisting Charleston was lying for clout. Someone wrote, "Bro hates her more than Blueface," which sparked a whole other debate. Someone else said, "This is why she needs help," while another wrote, "Y'all fall for anything he says." No matter which side they were on, one thing was clear. The controversy was already too big to put back in the box. Then people started bringing up her past incidents as if they were evidence. That time she left a party early. That time she didn't post the baby for 3 days. That time she looked annoyed while holding him. That time Blueface claimed she didn't know how to parent. Every old clip was resurfaced and reinterpreted through Charleston's accusation. Suddenly, things that had nothing to do with the situation were being used as proof that she could have thrown away her own son. This is how rumors become reality online, slowly, then all at once. People started tagging Blueface, demanding he respond. Someone wrote, "If this is true, speak up." Someone else said, "You let this happen?" Even though Blueface had said 1,000 chaotic things in the past, people suddenly treated him like a reliable commentator. Others began tagging Chrisean's family, tagging her friends, tagging random celebrities who had never spoken about her. The internet doesn't care who's actually involved, they just want noise. By the time Chrisean finally came online and saw her notifications exploding, Charleston had already gone live again, doubling down, adding new flair to the story, claiming he had more evidence, claiming he had people calling him privately. Whether any of that was true didn't matter. The internet treats any confident statement like breaking news. And Charleston is nothing if not confident. Chrisean stared into her phone with that mix of confusion and anger she always has when she's blindsided by drama. She kept refreshing, trying to figure out where the rumor began, and once she saw Charleston's face on her feed, yelling and waving, she stopped scrolling and froze. Because if Charleston White was talking about her, she knew one thing for sure. This wasn't going away easily. The moment Chrisean realized Charleston White was the source of the wildfire spreading across her phone, her entire expression changed. That confusion turned into disbelief, then into irritation, then into the kind of slow-building anger everyone has seen from her before, the kind that usually becomes a full-blown explosion within minutes. She didn't even speak at first. She just stared into the camera like she was trying to hold words inside her mouth before they ran out on their own. The live comments were begging her to respond. Say something. Is it true? Why did he say that? Don't let him lie on you. And the worst one. Did you actually throw the baby away? The internet has no limits, no filter, no hesitation. They ask the most insulting question like it's normal. It didn't take long before Chrisean's voice finally came out, shaky but sharp. What the hell is he talking about? She said. Then she scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, clicking through videos of Charleston shouting at full volume, clips stitched by random accounts adding captions like, "This is crazy," or "She needs help." The edits made everything look 10 times more dramatic than it already was. Some creators even added sad music behind screenshots of her holding her baby, trying to make it look like a documentary about bad parenting. That's the internet. Half comedy, half cruelty. But the problem wasn't just the comments. It was what came next, the fake leaked messages. Some random burner account posted a screenshot claiming Chrisean told someone she was done with all this baby stress. It wasn't real. The fonts didn't even match. But that doesn't matter when negativity spreads faster than facts. People reposted it until the screenshot practically became its own news article. Others created voiceover clips pretending to be insiders, saying things like, "My cousin works with her team, and they said she walked out the house without the baby." That also wasn't real, but it racked up hundreds of thousands of views because people love believing anything that fits the storyline they want. Charleston took all of that as fuel. When he saw the fake screenshot, he pretended he had known about it already. "Didn't I tell y'all?" he shouted on his second live of the night. "I know what be going on behind the scenes." He acted like he was the head of a federal investigative agency conducting a raid on misinformation. He paced around his room, waving his phone, acting horrified, calling her irresponsible, reckless, and unfit. The comments egged him on. Preach. Exposing season. Someone gotta say it. With every new comment, he got louder, more dramatic. This wasn't a discussion anymore. This was entertainment, and he knew that. Meanwhile, reaction channels were chopping the entire situation into content gold. One channel posted a 12-minute video titled, "The Dark Truth About Chrisean Rock's Parenting." Another posted a video thumbnail with her crying, even though that clip was from months ago. And even though none of the videos had new information, people watched them anyway because drama feels like a sport. People pick teams and swing punches with comments instead of fists. By the time Chrisean finally decided to address everything directly, the narrative had already snowballed beyond anything she could control. She looked into the camera, angry and hurt, and said, "Y'all believe anything. Like literally anything." But the more she defended herself, the more the comment section twisted her words. If she spoke calmly, they said she didn't care. If she raised her voice, they said she was guilty. If she cried, they said it was manipulation. There's no winning when the internet already decided your role before you opened your mouth. Then, out of nowhere, an anonymous page posted something even worse, a blurry image of a trash bin next to a house with some baby clothes on the ground. The caption said, "This is what they found." It wasn't her house. It wasn't her baby's clothes. It wasn't related to her in any way. But that didn't stop the image from spreading so fast that even Charleston reacted to it, claiming it validated what he heard. He didn't know it was fake, but he didn't bother checking either because once a rumor becomes emotional enough, nobody cares about verification. The pressure built so much that even Blueface got dragged into the conversation. People started tagging him nonstop, demanding he confirm or deny the accusation, asking him if he knew what was happening. And like clockwork, Blueface decided to jump into the drama, except he didn't defend her. Instead, he posted a cryptic tweet with laughing emojis, which only made the situation worse. People took it as him agreeing with Charleston. Some said he was mocking her. Some said he was waiting for the moment to attack. And all of it amplified the chaos. Influencers who had nothing to do with the situation began creating TikToks giving their thoughts, acting like experts on parenthood, mental health, and relationship dynamics. Journal-style commentary pages posted long breakdowns, making the situation look like a developing crisis. Some creators even added the phrase "sources say," which in internet language usually means "I made it up for engagement." And every time someone made a video, the algorithm pushed it further, making the story unavoidable. Charleston saw how big things were getting, and instead of stepping back, he escalated even more. He went live again, yelling about how somebody needed to call CPS and how she acting like she don't want the kid. He didn't have evidence. He didn't have receipts. But he had confidence, and when a loud person speaks with confidence online, people listen even without proof. His rants turned the situation from rumor to spectacle, and that spectacle became a snowball rolling downhill with no way to stop. Chrisean watched all of this unfold in real time, and the hurt in her eyes was obvious. She wasn't dealing with just the accusation anymore. She was dealing with thousands of people judging her without thinking twice. She opened her mouth to speak, but the comments hit her so fast, she couldn't even get a full sentence out before the judgment poured in. "Where's the baby right now? Why aren't you holding him? You look guilty. He wouldn't lie about this. Explain yourself." It felt like a courtroom with no judge, no jury, and no rules. But the breaking point came when one influencer claimed she had inside information. She said someone from Chrisean's neighborhood saw her leave the house alone. It was vague, unverifiable, and incredibly manipulative, but it spread instantly. Charleston seized that claim and repeated it like a headline. "See, people saw her. I'm not making this up." His confidence made the rumor digital law. And that is exactly where the internet crossed from speculation into full-blown hysteria, because once Charleston repeated that line, the entire scandal shifted into a much darker stage, exploding into legal threats, public anger, and the kind of backlash that spirals out of control. The moment Charleston repeated that vague, unverified line, people saw her leave the house alone. Everything snapped. The rumor was no longer a rumor. It became a narrative, a storyline, a digital storm so loud that even people outside the world of hip-hop drama started paying attention. Parenting blogs, gossip pages, reaction channels, Twitter threads, YouTube analysts, everyone suddenly wanted a piece of the chaos. The scandal had outgrown both Charleston and Chrisean, becoming something the internet was feeding on, refreshing, dissecting, and reshaping every 5 minutes. What made it worse was that official-sounding pages started jumping in. Some no-name, breaking news accounts began tweeting things like, "Sources confirm tension at Rock household," even though no such sources existed. But the tone made it sound official. And once it sounded official, people started quoting it like fact. It didn't matter that the page had been created 3 weeks ago. It didn't matter that half its posts were edited celebrity photos. The internet doesn't fact-check if the headline is juicy enough. Charleston saw how massive the situation had become. And like someone who just discovered the gas pedal, he pressed down even harder. He posted another video, this time saying he was ready to talk to authorities if needed, as if he had been personally appointed to this imaginary investigation. He talked about protecting the child, acting like he was some noble defender of innocence while the internet clapped and encouraged him. He said things like, "If ain't nobody gone speak up, I will," pretending he was holding the moral high ground. His tone wasn't concern, it was performance. And people ate it up. Meanwhile, Chrisean was shaking, trying to hold her composure as waves of misinformation hit her from every direction. She finally snapped. She shouted into the camera that she never abandoned her baby, that she was being lied on, that people were obsessed with twisting her life into the worst version of itself. But the internet doesn't reward explanations. They reward drama. And when she raised her voice, someone clipped the angriest 2 seconds of her live and posted it with a caption, "She's losing it." It went viral instantly. People weren't interested in understanding her. They wanted to see if she would break. They wanted to see if she would cry, if she would fight, if she would slip up and say something messy enough to keep the scandal alive for another week. They wanted entertainment, not truth. The more she defended herself, the more her emotions became content fuel. Then things escalated from online chaos to potential real-world consequences. A trending post claimed CPS might take a look at the situation because of the circulating rumors. Nobody from CPS said this. Nobody from any agency confirmed anything. But a single tweet with enough emotion behind it can feel like an official announcement. Suddenly people were writing, "This is getting serious. Authorities involved?" And it's over for her. Even though nothing had actually happened, that's when the comment sections took a darker turn. People began tagging government pages, reporters, journalists, and parenting activists. Some wrote long paragraphs pretending to care about the child, but clearly just craving more drama. Others demanded an investigation, even though the entire scandal was built from exaggerated claims and false screenshots. But once the idea of an investigation enters the conversation, everything changes. People start treating speculation like evidence. Charleston added even more fuel by saying he heard someone contacted CPS, even though he had no proof. He said it confidently, which made people think it must be true. Confidence online is more powerful than facts, and Charleston's confidence was on full blast. He declared he would stand by what he said, even though he hadn't said anything grounded in reality. He positioned himself as the brave whistleblower going up against a chaotic celebrity mother. And people love a hero versus villain story, even if both roles are imaginary. Influencers began predicting catastrophic outcomes. Some claimed she would lose custody. Others said she should take time away from the spotlight. People who had no qualifications in psychology acted like experts, diagnosing her through edited clips. Then someone posted a video titled, "Why Chrisean Might Actually Lose Everything." It hit 1 million views overnight. And the more views it got, the more people believed the narrative. Meanwhile, Chrisean's real-life team was scrambling behind the scenes, trying to figure out how to stop a rumor that had grown into a monster. They tried reporting fake images, flagging impersonation accounts, and pushing back against the snowball of misinformation. But the internet never moves backward. By the time the truth reaches the room, the lie has already gone viral, sprouted sequels, and sold merchandise. The pressure on Chrisean became suffocating. She was angry, hurt, overwhelmed, and terrified all at once. She knew she was being painted as something she wasn't, but every attempt to explain herself just became more ammunition for people who already decided she was guilty. At one point, she paused her live, held her face in her hands, and whispered that she was tired of being everyone's punching bag. That clip was instantly reposted, but instead of sympathy, most comments said she was acting, deflecting, or avoiding the truth. Even vulnerability was turned against her. That's when her family stepped in. Someone close to her posted a statement saying the rumors were false, that the baby was safe, that people needed to stop spreading lies. But the internet doesn't trust family statements. They'd rather trust anonymous pages posting blurry pictures. The family statement was drowned under memes, edits, and reaction videos dissecting it like a crime scene. Blueface didn't help either. Instead of clarifying anything, he posted another tweet making fun of the situation, which only made people believe the worst. Commenters said he was laughing because it's true, even though he wasn't confirming anything. His decision to fuel the drama instead of shutting it down only made things spiral further. And Charleston used that to his advantage, pointing at Blueface's tweets as supposed validation. Eventually, the narrative became so twisted that people started writing about possible charges and legal fallout, even though none of it had any real basis. People discussed custody battles, investigations, court orders, things that hadn't happened but felt believable because the rumor had grown so massive. The internet had turned an exaggerated claim into a nationwide scandal, fueled by outrage, speculation, and pure entertainment. But the final twist came when Charleston went live one more time, proclaiming he might not have all the details right, but the message still stands. It was his way of admitting he didn't know the truth while pretending he was still morally correct. It was the closest thing he'd ever give to a walk back, yet it barely mattered. Because the damage had already been done. The rumor had already burned through every platform like wildfire. People weren't interested in nuance. They were interested in spectacle. By the end of the week, the scandal had turned into a full-blown cultural debate. It wasn't about what actually happened, it was about what people wanted to believe happened. And that's the cruel reality of online controversies. Once the world decides who you are, there's no explanation big enough to undo it. And that's exactly where the meltdown ends, on a cliff between truth and chaos, with the internet refusing to let either side rest. And now we're standing at the edge of a storm that never should have grown this big, this fast, or this loud. Yet here it is, spiraling across the internet like a runaway train with no brakes. One accusation, one comment, one man with a camera and Wi-Fi. And suddenly a mother, a baby, and an entire world of spectators found themselves locked inside a digital courtroom where opinions became facts and rumors became headlines. But that brings us to the real question, the question only you can answer. After everything you've seen, heard, and watched unfold, what do you think actually happened? Did Charleston White go too far? Did the internet take a single spark and set off a wildfire? Or did Chrisean rock finally run into the one rumor too explosive to outrun? Because in moments like this, the truth doesn't spread, the drama does. The algorithms don't reward accuracy, they reward emotion. And every time someone comments, shares, clicks, or reacts, the story grows another branch, another twist, another chapter that no one saw coming. So now it's your turn to step into the conversation. Do you believe Charleston was exposing something real, or do you think he was amplifying chaos just to watch the world burn? Do you think Chrisean is being unfairly attacked, or do you think her past made this scandal inevitable? Drop your thoughts in the comments, not just a sentence, not just an emoji. Tell us what you think the truth is behind all this noise. And while you're here, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next breakdown, the next shockwave, the next unraveling story that the internet swears it's ready for but never really is. Because this saga isn't ending, it's just beginning.